that weren't right on the interstate, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Speaking of which, if are you planning on being on Vino Shipper at all, or are you already there?
We're already there. Yep. You can purchase right now. You can purchase 4 or 5 of our meads on there. We also have a mead club, which is a subscription-based service where we deliver mead to your door. We ship to 35 states. It's $55 a quarter. It's 4 bottles and it's $55. So you get 4 great meads that most people can't get. We usually do club mead orders pre-release. So club mead typically always gets the cream of the crop of what's coming out and first grab at it. And that's really worked out. I mean, we've nearly tripled our club mead in the last couple months. That's been a real big success for us. It took us a little while. We started it 2 years ago. And we had all these different levels and different shipping times and all this crazy stuff that went involved. When you got right down to it, it's very hard to explain. So people's eyes are just rolling the back of their heads. With this, it's very simple. 4 bottles quarterly, $55, free shipping. And
nice.
We have a lot of people signing up for that. It's really great. And then you get 15% off online when you make any other purchases, and then you get 15% off anything in the retail side of our tasting room.
International shipping?
What's that?
Not for free. International shipping, he said.
Free shipping.
Yeah, Hamish is in Australia. So.
Yeah, not yet. But we're working on moving out of this country a little bit. We always have something in the works.
Let's slip a little secret there.
Yeah, we're I think for people again who want to start meaderies, I'm a huge proponent of it, and
you went away there, Ash. Ash, you gotten really, really quiet.
Wait, I don't think he can hear us.
I don't think he can either.
I think Ash's headset's disconnected and he can't hear us talking, and therefore...
Yeah. All right, y'all take your headsets away from your heads for a second. I'm going to yell at him.
Okay.
Ash, we can't hear you. Ash, we can't hear you, dude.
I don't think it's working.
I don't think so either. And I don't think he's looking at Facebook. He's probably saying really interesting stuff, too. He's like, darn it. Ash.
Does he have a separate...
I think that's his cell phone that we...
You could kick him out and call him back. That'd bring him back.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let me switch back to the other computer here.
He's
just going. That's so hilarious.
Probably awesome information, too.
I know, right?
Yeah, I know.
All right, I just booted him. We'll give him another... I'll call him back. Your headset went away, dude. Yeah, I think he might have been plugged into his computer or something. I don't know what.
Or his computer ended the show. He's like, all right, it's 11.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah. Ash?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, totally.
Yes,
you
we can.
went all the way, and
Sorry
we're all going, Ash, we can't hear you.
Oh no!
It was pretty.
I'm sure it was really, really good information too.
Yeah, we were like, darn, we
where'd I
can't
lose
hear
you?
Future stuff.
People starting new meaderies.
Yes, that was it.
Yeah.
Did you hear the destination?
No.
No.
So what I was saying is, you got to know your destination before you can get in your car and start driving aimlessly. So you need to think of where you want to be. Do you want $100,000 a year? Do you want $500,000 a year? Do you want a small house, big house? You need to visualize where you want to be, and then from there build the roadmap to get there. And I think it's overwhelming at first, but when you start putting pen to paper, you can see that it doesn't take as much of an investment as you think it would. The biggest investment is time. The second biggest investment is guts, and just making it happen, and having the fortitude and the stamina to keep it going. So.
Yeah, that really does make sense. And there's so many people that, I would say the majority of meaderies do have that. They go that route. But there are those who don't realize the depth of what they're taking on.
Yeah.
They come into this with all this passion without a plan. And one theme that I heard throughout this entire conversation was you kept referring back to your plan. To to what you'd put together, to what the plan was, and that plan was the overriding thing all the way through this. So I think that's a big takeaway for a lot of people.
Absolutely, and the more information you can get on that plan, the better. And it's okay if it changes.
Yeah,
a business plan is a living document. It changes monthly, although you don't need to visit it monthly. Visit it quarterly or semi-annually. So.
Have you got any advice for someone trying to come up with a business plan?
AJ is an up-and-comer.
I'll tell you right now, most people have a habit of making things harder than they need to be. And it's taking on giant tasks, and it's really replicating things that have already been done, and utilizing those tools for your benefit to have them work for you. And one of the biggest tools for writing a business plan is there's a website, and I am not paid by these people at all, but liveplan.com. It's $20 a month, but if you can get your whole business plan done in a month, well, it costs you $20, and it goes through step by step every question that you need to answer to build this business. And it's monstrous. I mean, we can look online, we can look in forums, we can find all the information to build a business plan. This actually gives you examples. It walks you through step by step how to build that business plan, and it's wonderful. I don't use it anymore. I used it as a framework 5-6 years ago, and now I just kind of write my own and just keep it running. And there are things that are business plan, and then there are also business model, and a lot of that business plan has become model. So it really becomes infrastructure more than it does that working, changing, evolving document.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's a great resource.
Well, I know what AJ is going to be doing for the next month.
Well, that's really going to depend on. In Ontario, you have to have at least, if you want to open a winery, you have to have at least 5 acres of fruit and crops, and if you want to start a meadery, you have to have over 100 hives. So it's not really it's not a thing I can start slowly. So I'm trying to figure out how to finance a farm.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
the challenge I'm coming up with, and I was talking to my financial guy today about how to possibly do it without giving up the house, because right now the market is the shits, and I'd rather keep it for rental property.
Of course, yeah, and I think that's probably why, especially in this market. Oh, wow.
And apparently it's a good time to be buying farms, too, because the market for farms is crap, too. So there's apparently a lot of people who have not been able to sell and who are starting to drop the prices, but I still have another couple of years left on the mortgage on this place before I can start another one, and I'd like to get the meadery open before I'm 50.
Wow. And now, is it possible to contract a farm?
It might be. I'm going to look into that.
Yeah, if you know somebody that has the hives and the farm and everything, that they're already doing it.
But the legislation is that you have to produce your alcohol in the same building where you process your honey. And you can't take the fruit off property to process it.
Right.
So it has to all be done on the same property, and trying to find a property that's the right zoning. So they really didn't make it easy here.
So one thing we've learned in New Hampshire is, it is possible to change laws. Is that something that could happen with a team of other growers or other people interested in starting.
Yeah, they've been looking at some provinces have actually dropped it down for a small license to 75 hives. Gee, thanks for that.
Oh, geez, thank you.
And I'm hoping that 5 acres of fruit and crops doesn't mean that I have to have everything fruiting it. I think you can put 100 apple trees on an acre. I was hoping to be a little more sparse than that because
right.
That's unless I can find an orchard that's already running that will let me build a house on it, and be the right zoning and everything. So it's a lot of.
They don't say how big those hives need to be, right?
Micro hives.
This one has 1 bee, and this one has 3 bees. And this one over here is the condo that has 10 bees.
Just buy a truckload of queens. They're all hives, aren't they?
That's a crazy set of laws that you have there.
Well, the way of dodging the one is by going with the other. So if you can meet one criteria, you can use someone else's fruit. If you make your own honey, you can use someone else's honey if you make your own fruit. But you got to be able to do one or the other. Whereas microbreweries can go up on street corners. I've seen them.
Yeah.
Because also like brew by you places, as long as they're using concentrates, you can get away with a license for small production. But that sort of defeats the whole purpose of what I want to do.
Right.
Unless you consider honey to be a concentrate.
Yeah, and I can only speak of the experiences I have here in New Hampshire, and I know across the country it's the United States of different liquor laws, and it's very hard in some locations across the country. I think that at least in New Hampshire we've helped change wine laws here in the state, and we're pretty amazed that it could be done. See if you can't get it down to 10 hives.
Yeah, well, one of the things that's going on with that is they're making a lot of allowances for stuff that's VQA, but VQA is a group that only takes grape wine, so anybody who's a fruit winery is screwed. They're talking about letting wineries sell at farmers markets, but only if you're VQA, and if you're not using grapes, you can't be VQA. And because there's not a lot of people who are doing stuff other than that, there's not enough momentum to get things changed. So I've been following the rants of another winemaker in the area about some of the crap that's going on with that, so visiting him's on my list of things to do.
And have you thought about making mead at home and just selling it on the black market? No,
Actually, what I do currently is I trade it for a liter of honey. You give me a kilogram of honey, I'll give you a bottle of mead.
There you go.
There you go.
In
But
2 years.
it's hard to pay off the mortgage, though.
Do you need a license if you're smuggling it over the border into the US?
What do you have in the car,
phone
miss?
call
Oh,
has
just a
been
trunkload of honey.
Yeah.
This phone call has been flagged. Oh boy.
Yeah, I know the Canadian mounted police will be coming after her in a few minutes.
Actually, as long as you're not selling it, you can bring it across the border, but it depends on the state. Because I've actually sent a case across with one of our got meters for a meat exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Which reminds me, I have to contact him as soon as I get a passport.
Yeah, get a passport,
You may have
AJ.
just found out.
To-do
Sorry
list.
about that.
Yeah, so it's just there's some places where it's not easy to start small, and I really wish it was, because if it was easy, I would have done it already. If I could have done it out of my garage, I would be there already.
Hell, with the amount of mead you have in your garage, you already started.
Yeah.
No, I don't actually exceed the allowed amount per household, so I don't actually make that much right now because I can't drink that much, and I don't have that much room.
Canadian Liquor Patrol, if you're listening, she's not actually exceeding the amount allowed.
all within regulations, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, it is, and I've even got documentation to that.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go. All right.
Wow.
The paper doesn't lie.
No.
We should probably let Ash get back to his life. We've kept him captive for over 2 hours now.
Oh, it's all good. I could geek out and talk about this stuff forever. So
Well, dude,
it's all
that is
good.
exactly what we're going to do at the Mazer Cup. You know that, yeah. And and we'll have you
absolutely.
back. Yeah, we're going to have fun at the Mazer Cup.